must I look?
Say again?
Can I look towards you? Or?
Please. All right, here with Ashleigh Buhai, who sits at 2 under on the tournament and 2 under on the day. You've been playing really well of late, but let's focus on today. I know an unfortunate bobble there on the final hole, but overall a really solid showing for you today. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, feeling really good with where I'm lying. I executed my second shot like I wanted to on 18, got a big bounce with the greens firming up so much this afternoon. Hit a good chip and just didn't hit the best putt, but I would have taken 2 under at the start of the day.
How has the course changed since we got here early in the week when it was soft, and now you said it's really starting to firm up?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, I was hitting 3 woods into par 4s for 2 in my practice round, and I'm glad I'm not doing that the last 2 days. So, it's for the better, but you got to stay very patient. Difficult to get the ball close to the hole, especially with some of the pin placements. You got to kind of take the pin out of your mind and just hit to certain areas. And my coach and I, we work on zones and green and yellow zones, and hitting a lot to a yellow zone and just putting, 30-foot putts and taking your 2 putt. And then when you have a chance, hopefully you make it.
Then you go for it. Like I said, you've been playing so well of late, of course, in the playoff with Georgia at Cambia, and then a tie for 6 last week at ShopRite. Has something clicked for you over the past couple weeks, or where do you think all the strength in your game is coming from?
I felt it kind of started to click around the British Open. Finished tied 11th there, and then in the week off after Walmart, my coach was out from South Africa. I needed to tidy up my putting a little bit. I'd been hitting it good, and that's been the difference. I'm just making some putts, and out here, especially, the 4-footers that you have, you leave yourself a par. Those are big, and that's what keeps you in it.
Right. A reminder to everyone on Zoom to please raise your hand, and we can call on you, but we'll start here down with Jeff.
Ashleigh made 3 nice birdies late coming in. What was the highlight of that run?
I think on, what was it 14? That hole, I hit a 7-wood in there to probably about 8 foot. I hold a nice putt, and then 16 was a nice surprise. We had the tee up, and it was downwind. Hit 5-wood into the left bunker, greenside bunker. Couldn't be aggressive because it was downwind and it gets away from you past the hole. So I played a decent bunker shot, left myself probably 15 foot and hold the putt. And then just, I felt I hit a really good shot into 18. Unfortunately, got a huge bounce. So, if I can stand up and execute the shots, that's all you worry for. The bounce is out of your control.
Were you in the left rough on 18?
No, I was in the fairway. Yeah.
But it's so firm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't talked to you. What did you do during the break, during the quarantine break?
Well, I was in South Africa. We had super strict lockdown. You literally weren't allowed, a lot of places you weren't allowed to leave your house, but golf courses were shut for 2 months. By the time we restarted, I'd maybe had like 2 weeks of full practice.
Wow.
So it really was almost 3.5 months off for me, but, I was okay with that. And
What'd you do?
Not a lot. My husband and I, Dave, we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so we moved in with my parents as they have a garden. Luckily, I had a hitting net, but that kind of wore off, the novelty wore off after about 3 weeks, and I was tired of hitting into a net. We just had to stay home and be patient, really.
Wow.
Getting out of South Africa was very difficult for us. Normally we flew through Dubai. It's normally maybe an 18-hour trip. It took us 38 hours to get back to the States. So
Whoa.
we had a little red tape, but it was good to finally get here and get playing again. And I've just tried to build every week and be patient, and finally things are starting to come together.
What was the route?
We had to fly Johannesburg, Dubai, Chicago, but because the airport was completely shut, we only live 15 minutes from the airport. By the time we left home to boarding the plane was 7 hours later. It was you had to go to a hotel pre-check, get bused to the airport. It was an experience, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Was that the longest you'd been in South Africa in a while?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it was close to 4 months.
Was it at least nice to have maybe a little bit of downtime, even though we don't care like the reason why, but at least you had the time?
Yeah, it's always nice to be home and in your home comfort, sleep in your home bed. But I did get to a point where, you're going to hit your breaking point where you can't do what you love doing.
Right.
And I think for me, what worried me more was I even going to be able to get back to the States? Because at a point, that was a thought, and I wanted to get back for the restart. So everybody who's tried to get out to work and play, I know that a lot of professional golfers had a lot of hassle. but I know our borders are back open now, so I'm really hoping it stays that way so I can go home after CME.
Yes. Back down to Joe.
Ashleigh, what do you like most about this golf course, and how do you feel the course has been set up the first 2 rounds?
I think it's been set up really well. Obviously, it's tough, but it's a major, so that's how it has to play, and it needs to play. The fairways are generous, but you have to hit it into good areas to leave yourself good angles. And I think, mainly it's the greens, hitting it into the right areas on the greens and staying very patient. You could go 8-9 holes with just leaving yourself 30 footers, and you have to just accept that. And I think as long as you do that, you'll be fine around here.
How easy has it been to play a tournament about an hour away from here last week and then coming this week? How convenient has that been?
Yeah, it's nice. Anytime you can throw your stuff in a car and not have to fly, it's great. So it was easy getting here Sunday. Also with the fact we have to get tested, being tested Sunday, having our results Monday morning. It's a huge help, and you can get on with your week.
We'll come to Jeff and Beth Ann to wrap up.
What were there mixed emotions leaving Portland? I mean, you came so close to the win, but I mean, you had to have a lot of positives, I would think, for the week.
Yeah, more positives than negatives. I mean, the fact that I was 7 behind going into that last round, if you told me I'd be in a playoff, I'd be like, let's go. I mean, I would never have thought that. I remember hitting my second shot into 18, and I was trying to play for one of those 2 spots for the US Open, and I hold my putt, and Tanya, my caddy, and I said, okay, I think we're top 5, I think we've got a spot. And then we walked off, and it was like, okay, we've got another shot at something else here. Wow. So I took all the positives out of that, ran with it, played well last week in ShopRite, had a good final round again, so just try to keep that going.
Your husband is a caddy out here. How often do when you go home at night, do you talk about the golf course? Do you talk about your rounds?
I mean, he caddied for me for 8 years, so but so many. I think last week was the first time we were actually the same side of the draw. We're always opposite side. So I think it's good. We do go home, ask how each other's day was, and then get away from it. Don't try to talk golf too much.
When did he stop caddying for you?
I think this is we got married in 2016, December 2016, and then from January 2017 he started working for other players.
Why was that? Sorry, I have to ask.
Some people say it might be good to stay married. No. It was a case of, I think we needed a change. There was a lot of pressure on me. Everything's coming out the same basket. And I felt I became too reliant on him. Nobody knows my game better, and I grew up playing field golf, and I feel I got a little away from that, being too reliant on him. Like you say, when you're together for that amount of times, or amount of time in the day, it gets tough going back, especially when you've had a bad round and you're both unhappy. So when things are going great, there's nothing better than doing well with your spouse. But this way, at least, if I have a bad week and he has a good week, it evens it out, and vice versa. So we're taking a little bit from each basket now, and hopefully putting it together.
Awesome.
And at the end of the day, you're still together.
Yes, we're still together.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Ashley.